to the semifinals of the Division B in ECAC League of Legends. I am Box Kimchi here alone this time to bring you the action in what should be an eventful game. Semifinals, the championship on the line in kind of a roundabout way. Eventually, it will be on the line, I promise. But we have Florida Southern College up against Florida Atlantic University in a bit of a rivalry. I don't know if they're rivals or not. I haven't dug deep into the college realm, but Florida beef nonetheless. FSC one loss in the regular season to the College of Staten Island, who they swept to get here. FSC went 3-2-2, two draws, which means neither team reported, 2 losses, 3 wins. Put them in the original round of 16, but they have 2-0'd and then 2-1'd their way here. FAU 4-0 through the playoffs so far, and it's all to play for. State beef, and of course, the ECAC Division B title in the future. And just looking at the teams, it is a bit of a difference, to put it lightly. FAU, only 1 player in gold, everyone else emerald or higher. You look at the FSC lineup, 3 silver players, a diamond 4, and an emerald player. It is a bit of a mismatch on paper, but you gotta play the games. So we'll see how things play out, because anything can happen. Some funky things can happen. It's FSC on the blue side. Don't let the logos fool you. It is annoying to keep switching them back and forth. So it is how it's going to be. And Bessa is taken away. It is on the table. She is on the table, and that means it needs to be taken away. Kindred going to be banned away here from FSC. I do not see a jungler on their OPGGs. Silas and Hecarim taken away. Hecarim a bit of a funky pick. That is definitely a pocket pick. And Seraphine, a low-key pick, in my very meaningless opinion. Not a ton of people are playing her in solo queue or in the competitive scene right now. She's a bit of a pocket pick at the moment, seen as a little bit weaker than the engage supports that we have been seeing throughout the better part of the entire half year, I guess. Jinx going to be the first pick for FAU. We're still feeling the ramifications of lethal tempo throughout the amateur scene and collegiate scene, because we haven't had a major tournament in months at this point. It's been 2 months since we've had a major tournament at the tier 1 level. We only have the Kespa Cup, which is really an amateur tournament at best. Blitz going to be paired with the Jinx. This is a Garen locking, insta-lock Garen. Graves going to follow it up. This is going to be a lot of unconventional nonsense, and I am all for it. I love when that is the best thing about collegiate. You see the funky pinks. They don't play what's meta, they play what they know, and they know some Garen, apparently. And apparently some Graves as well. Not a champion I've seen a lot of. I think I've seen more Garen recently than I've seen Graves. And Wukong going to round out FAU's first half. One side needs potentially an ADC or a support. The other needs a top laner, and both need mid laners. And what's good in the mid lane right now are a bunch of mages. Pantheon taken away. Sarah Pantheon, an interesting combo that would not be terrible here, actually, had it been able to get through into the Blitzcrank. You get hooked by Blitzcrank, Pantheon doesn't really care. He gets exactly where he wants to be, right onto that squishy target to follow up or to give Seraphine that follow-up. Cassante taken away. Garen has many matchups that he just cannot outright win or will be outscaled. It's weird. Garen is a stat check. If you don't get ahead of Garen, you lose to Garen more often than not. I'll see if they pick out a Vayne here. What the heck is that last one? That is definitely not a no ban. We'll have to see, I guess. Potentially. Or maybe it is a no ban. Maybe they fear nothing from FSC anymore, but you don't really do that. You don't just not ban something. It's always better to do it. And Yasuo, the Wind Brother's going to be taken away from FAU here. So what do Florida Atlantic want to do? They're going to take Kale into the Garen. That's an interesting matchup. Wow. I was not expecting Kale to be the response to a a Garen pick. I also have not expected to see a Kale in any capacity. Most people don't touch the champion, but apparently 60% win rate against Garen, which makes a lot of sense, just has the range advantage and literal invincibility at a certain point. They'll have to definitely trudge through a tough early game until you get that range advantage all the way through. Galio going to be taken in the mid lane for Florida Southern. And what are they going to round this out with? They have no ADC unless they want to put Galio in the bot lane here. But blinding Galio mid is honestly the better option, and it's going to be new Swain, partial rework Swain, in the bot lane with the Seraphine. A lot of AP coming through, and full AP bot lane does not seem like a great idea, but honestly, ADCs are in such a tough position that it is not surprising to see to see the double mages come through. What is the mid lane of choice here? You can't really, I mean, you can take a mage. You're going to take the Ahri here. Galio is just kind of good into everything. Mage is especially so because of his AP or his MR scalings. This is a pretty bulky team on the side of FSC, while FAU have gone for definitely a more skirmishy comp. I don't know if it's skirmish or pick. It depends on the context, I guess. Wukong, Ahri, and Blitzcrank very good at picking people off and can start off quick fights if needed. But there's going to be really good response potential with this Galio. I mean, Galio alone just makes this a very interesting matchup, to say the least, as he has the ability to just teleport in from anywhere, give a giant AP shield, and of course, cause a giant crash down that knocks everybody up and does way, way more damage than anyone thinks it does. And Swain becomes unkillable after a while if he's allowed to ramp up. But it's all going to come down to execution and coordination. Wukong versus Graves. I'm taking the Graves any day of the week, unless I'm wrong. Honestly, I have not seen this matchup. Who the heck is playing Wukong at this point in time? The answer is probably very few. And I'm trying to recall the last Wukong game I've seen, and I think it was it Wei in the grand finals, which I guess is very recent, but still not optimal. It's not a really good statement when I can't remember the last Wukong. When it's hard to recall the last Wukong game you've seen. Definitely hard to recall the last Garen game I've seen. It was Adam. 100% Adam, because that is right up his alley. I mean, I could recall the last Ahri. I guess I could technically recall the last Blitzcrank. It was the same team. But team fight versus skirmish. I'm going to stop BSing and waffling around. FSC have fully committed to team fights. Seraphine, Galio, Swain are very much, we're going to commit everything to trying to lock this down. Overpower you in the 5v5, 4v4. FAU, very pick comp. Very get an advantage and then fight kind of team. So it's going to come down to, do FSC get picked off in the end? And also, does Garen get ahead? Because I would not be surprised to see them just ignore Florida Southern College's bot lane entirely, because that is honestly a fine idea. You have a Blitzcrank versus Swain Seraphine. There's not really any concern there or any real stress or any real pressure to win that lane, because Jinx is going to get online through farming, and then you just need one team fight to flip the switch for her. Instead, Kale should be the priority, the champion that is ultra dependent on her levels and ulti rank, and of course is super item reliant, needs to get scaling quickly or else is just going to completely fall behind. Mid lane, Ahri should be fine into Galio, honestly. If they picked, I mean, they did pick one of the better champions into the Galio, especially if they needed that AP coverage, because Kayle is a bit of a mix. And Jinx is Jinx and Wukong is Wukong. They don't have any AP. Jinx got nerfed recently, actually, for her funny lethality. But what the heck? This game.
Spear will find your back.
Okay, actually, we'll also be able to see what that 5th ban was. That would be nice to see.
Only flee.
Sante, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I don't know if Garen uses it because it was Echo. That's an interesting ban, to say the least. I don't know. I wouldn't have.
No cure for fools.
I wouldn't have done it personally, but I'm not even seeing Echo in the recently played, or in the season-long played for side of FSC. Seen a lot of ADCs and a lot of top laners, but not seeing any Echoes here. I don't know, maybe it's matchup advantage. They're gonna go Swain farming here. Interesting that they're going that route. I really think it would have been better to have Seraphine on the farming role, though. Revenant and Waffle are both bot lane players. So maybe Waffle just plays more Swain. It would make more sense, honestly. It's interesting to have that out of position. I guess it was just the matchup they wanted. Seraphine just better early compared to Swain here. Even though Seraphine needs items to get online, just better at farming, has better clear. It's a little bit more expensive. You can easily just have her pivot more. Also, high income Seraphine is way more valuable than low income Seraphine. Or high income Seraphine versus high income Swain. Because Swain's pretty much just going to build Rylai's into like Riftmaker. And that's about it. Riftmaker, Leandries, Blackfire, Rabadons, and a bulk item. Seraphine really would like to start getting her AP items online faster. Because Swain has a lot of built-in stats, actually. Like, an unbelievable amount of just built-in stats, built-in scalings with his passive as well. He doesn't actually need to really buy as much compared to Seraphine, who gets no free stats in comparison. So I'm interested to see how that goes down. Otherwise, it is just... It might just come down to skill diff, honestly. That's how a lot of college game goes. A lot of collegiate games in all esports, regardless of comp, strategy, or style, just comes down to skill diffs at times. Which we can see, like, it could be completely possible that it is just going to be a hands diff to be determined. Obviously, not hoping for that, because casting a sweep of not very close games would not be entertaining for me or whoever's watching this. I'd like it to be somewhat close. No, I'm still not over this freaking Garen Kayle pick. What the heck? Just dang, they don't track that. Oh, it's season 15. I might as well dig into the Garen numbers. Let's see. 17 picks. Won 9 of them. Beats Cassante. Why did they ban Cassante? I assumed he beats Cassante because if he stands on you, you just win. And then he cuts his health bar in half. Like, Garen does not care about you cutting your health bar in half for true damage because he just will kill you faster. You know what? Maybe they just don't like Cassante, which is fair. No one really likes him. All tired of seeing him. Want him gone. It's gonna be a farm-heavy game, to say the least, though, which is going to either be a blessing where I get to just relax, or a curse where I have to be bored and nothing ever happens forever. Oh, and it's 30 seconds out, which means we are about to go into the game. 3-minute spectator client delay is very annoying. Super inconvenient and is ultra dated. Because it's an anti-cheat system that doesn't matter because you can't even spectate ranked games. So who cares that there's a 3-minute delay? Oh, it is going to be Swain farming. Okay. Still intriguing. Everything else seems to be about the same. Going to be heal for the Seraphine over an Ignite or an Exhaust. I feel like they could have... I mean, you're Swain Seraphine. You're a very healthy lane already. You probably could have afforded to go for the Exhaust here as... Or the Ignite. Just Ignite is so powerful. On its face, though, a lot of the summoner spells are very powerful, obviously. Guardian on the Seraphine. Obviously, you want defensive utility out of your keystones. Don't know if Guardian was the call. Maybe could have went Airy here. Especially with Guardian, it's very difficult to proc it against a Blitzcrank because either you or your teammate are getting pulled very far away from where you originally started, and it's not going to proc. Blitz Hook, unless it's building AP, does not do nearly enough damage to justify or to proc Guardian before you get travel. You get yoinked away to faraway magical places called the enemy's arms. Galio just going to suffer here for a little bit. Don't start W on Galio because you can't farm wave with it. I don't think it does damage to the wave. I don't use Galio W to farm, so I wouldn't know. I just run at the enemy and proc it. He's very strong. Ari, yeah, that's about the trade pattern, though. Even though Ari has actual damaging abilities, Galio has Q, which does % max health damage. So this will be a bit of a miserable laning phase for two of these teams, or for two of these lanes, until they can get all their abilities on. Even with the one ability that Kale cares about, her E. Into this Garen, it just does not matter. Garen has so much healing already, and has so much healing available to him. And just silences you. Runs at you, silences you, and you have no damage. So he's going to be able to push us in pretty freely, which is the one thing you don't want Garen to do, is get on the map, as there's just a huge trade going out. But now Kale, lethal tempo available. Garen doesn't have the shield. He's going to level up to 3, so he's going to have it at his disposal. Flash away to safety. He doesn't have the damage. The flash follow from Resurrection means that it's first blood to the Kale. And that is the only issue with not taking Ignite here. A lot of Garens will take the Ignite into most matchups because you don't have any more damage. Like, you take Phase Rush here, you have no more damage after your initial spell rotations, and you gotta wait like 7-8 seconds for another Q to come up. So Ignite is really that kill secure insurance that is super valuable, because once you start getting those defensive utility, once you get your boots finished, you could pretty much do whatever the hell you want with no real consequence. He's trying to buy time with the passive. It just does not really have that available to him. Just the time he has is finite, limited, and not nearly enough. You need like 8 seconds to reproc Perseverance. He got about 2. the early engage. There's the flash force, but the Ahri does not flash far enough. It is a return kill to Dredo. It's going to be the Graves picking that one up, and that is a nice champion to start getting in the pocket. Blitz going aggressive. The never move is not going to connect. Dodges away from the W, but there's the hook. A nice root forces out the flash at least of the Swain, but will survive is the most important thing. And is able to start healing up Waffle. Wasn't in any real danger. The damage from the Jinx just not nearly enough at the moment to really be threatening. But still not a great idea to start getting hooked and killed. Can't take many more of those. Can't tank many more of those without really risking much. Seeing a huge discrepancy in CS for this Galio. Galio does have base numbers, but he's kind of limited in wave clear. It is, I believe it is capped. If it isn't capped, that would also not be very surprising. Still very difficult to clear. Doesn't have ranks into his queue. Probably will not have ranks into his queue for quite a while. You usually want to max. No, you can max your W here, or you can max Q still, even if you're going a tanky build. That W max is not great. A good flash E, but takes a lot from turret. The Ahri playing very close. The hook connects onto Waffle, and that's just it. Ignite goes down. King Kirby's gonna get Verzia a kill, and that's gonna be a big advantage in this lane. Gonna burn the teleport off of Waffle as well. That's not a massive deal, as that was pretty much a harmless death. Besides, obviously, dying. Mostly harmless. In terms of pace and tempo. All teleports down. We won't be seeing any of them until they become unleashed at 10 minutes. And now that Kale is 6, it is officially over for Gooey. He cannot play the game. Kale completely outranges him. Anytime he wants to gap close, he'll need to burn his flash. There is pretty much no situation where it is playable for him. He will have to safely farm under his turret and wait for Dredo to come up and help him out. Tough situation, but that's the Garen matchup. He has one gap closer and it's running at you, and flash. And you can already see the pings going down. Out the flash, they're waiting for this because they're going to need to force a play. They're going to need the silence to be picture perfect. But they've spotted him out. They know that Dredo's possibly hovering around. Actually, did that ward just die? So even with the flash up, the issue is Kale still has ultimate. And there's no situation that is worse than burning your Kale or burning your Garen ulti without silencing the Kale first. They're going to just get her down to half, and that is not enough. Again, some pressure off of this top lane at least. But they need... Oh, great hook there. Screw all that. Great hook by Kirby, and this is just going to be the end of Waffle. He'll never move to get a little bit more health. They even turn the kill with a rotation from air. It's a 2-0 across the map. Florida Atlantic are running this game, and it is already a 2,000 gold lead in just 8 minutes. That's bad. That is not good. The last thing you want is pretty much all the champions who have fallen behind to fall behind. Swain's not that bad. He's low econ, depending on what he's building here. As the hook going to connect. It's a nice route coming through. Has the ulti available, but it's just going to get silenced. Good flash away. Forces out the cleanse of Verzia. Dodges away from the Super Mega Death Rocket as well. So will survive, but there's just no damage coming out from this Swain. He threw out one rotation. He just got ulti. He probably could have committed ulti there. Maybe could have. There's a chance he gets a kill, but there's a flash on both members, so no, there is not a chance, actually. It's a good survival from Revenant, but it's just not going to be enough. When you're already trailing, surviving is not going to be worth that much. It will buy some time for Waffle to at least catch up in terms of CSing, but he's also down 600 gold now. Because 2 kills going over to a hyper carry is a dangerous game. The one thing we haven't seen is impeccable get online. He's only done one real move, which was hovering. Hovering for a little bit on the rotation up to air. Ooh, Galio. Skipper not going to quite reach there on his Justice Punch. He's going to take a big chunk of health off of himself there. And another negative trade. He pretty much should just be focusing on clearing out these waves, but the issue is he has to walk barely into the range of air here. Good never move. Hook gonna go and hit a field goal. That is a lot of damage coming out from Perseus Jinx. Just throwing the missiles out over and over again. Very dangerous. They have Dredo here, but they don't have Encore. They only have Never Move. Nice hook going to connect, but now Dredo Unleashed has so much damage. There's the Ascension coming out. It's going to be a shutdown going into the pocket of Revenant. It should be both, as it's going to be Dredo picking that one up with the Smite. Usually that's for the camps, but you can use it on the enemies. It works just the same. And now he's going to be able to get really aggressive here on this invade. Has so much pressure with the bot lane being able to rotate over thanks to the kills coming through air. Is going to make it. The flash forced out of Impeccable as well, and the chase continues now. There's no charm on this Ahri, but he's going to need a little bit more damage. Flash follow with the second bullet is going to pick up another one for Dredo. The Super Mega Death Rocket's not going to connect, but it's going to be a shutdown for air now as the chase down continues. This is a Manaless Seraphine. This should just be shooting fish in a barrel, and it's a double kill as air goes 2-1-1, and will be more than happy to pick up his first item on reset. And in other dire situations, Garen's down 31 CS. It's what's expected at this point. It is a very bad matchup for Garen. It's usually why if Garen is not broken, or if there is some cheesy strategy you have, there is no reason to pick this champion, sadly. He is very strong. He's a lane bully that needs time. We've got a soul. Don't know how many stacks he has, but it can't be that much. He's hit a couple never moves. And I think only one Eye of War. So it's not a lot of stackage, to say the least, for the Swain here. Not even because he has to focus on TSing. Honestly, it's just because it's a tough situation. Things have not been going his way. As this is a terrible spot. There's the charm coming through, the hook back into the team, and that's going to be the end of Dredo there. The Encore will be nice, but it's not going to be nearly enough. The Swain isn't even here. The Galio ulti going to get canceled. We'll at least give the shield over, but currently getting chased down by Wukong means the magic shield does nothing. Nice. Double E there to get the root. Not going to be able to pick up the kill onto the Wukong. Super Mega Death Rocket connects, and Verzia is 3-1. This Jinx is unleashed. Already has the Wild Arrow stacking. And more going to come through. Oh, brutal charm. Great catch up by Air. And it's a killing spree. 3-0-2, I believe. Can't quite see there, but it's a long amount of takedown. A lot of takedowns before dying. Another charm going to connect. And that is pretty much putting the Swain to a quarter of his health bar. And Florida Atlantic are just flexing their muscles right now all over Florida Southern College. It is a brutalizing beatdown right now. And it's going to be Blackfire. So it's going to be sustained damage here against this Jinx. Instead of what possibly could have been... I play support Swain, so I always build Rylai's first item. But in this case, you don't really want support Swain. The E's not going to connect. The Q will, and the damage that comes after it, never move, is going to force out the cleanse, but it's not going to be even in time to get the cleanse. But it's not going to really be more than that. It's just threatening and getting a cleanse out. But they just don't have the damage yet. Swain is building for sustained damage, and it's going to take a bit to get that online. And Seraphine is building support, so there's no chance of getting her any damage yet. It's going to be the Void Grubs going down 6-0 in favor of FAU. They have both Drakes. Rift Herald should be coming up soon. That is a Trinity Force Wukong. Usually not what we see, as there's the rundown coming in. But look how fed this Ahri is, just chunking to nearly half on this Graves, as now jumping over the wall, could have got the safe autos. Now he's going to get hooked in, forcing out the flash heal, and a great collateral damage to finish off Verzia there. And it will actually be something in response. So much damage coming out from that Spirit Rush. I thought it was going to be over with Air just being a menace. But a great never move to lock down Verzia and continuing and just giving them the opportunity to try and close this gap. That is Nashor's finished on the Kale, the iconic first item for a very small handful of champions. Is there a teleport coming in? No, okay. He's just getting a ward down while he's covered by the turret. I was going to say, there's no way you teleport your Ahri or Kale down here for nothing. And they won't. They play smart. They just let it happen. They lose the first turret. It's fine. They have every other advantage right now. They're fighting the Rift Herald. They have every major objective besides first turret. So who really cares? Turret shot tanked, not even going to matter. The explosion there actually going to hit the Garen, as now just chunking him down, forcing out the Divine Judgment, but there's no chase down coming through. And Resurrection's going to be unhappy with having to burn his ultimate there. That is almost all of his health right there. The combo onto the Wukong. He doesn't win that. Wukong is Armor Shred, and you don't really want to stare that down. You don't want to keep tanking that, especially if the clone gets onto you with that Armor Shred as well. It might be good night for your Garen. He's not even finished. He's working on getting that. Why can't I remember the name of it? I build it whenever I play Stridebreaker. There we go. Working on the Stridebreaker still. Everyone has first item, including the supports at this point. This Garen's been low econned. They're going to get wrapped around, as you can see right there. Blitz just waiting for his moment to strike. He's going to get a minion. Took a little bit too long to commit to the play. But with Waffle already low, only has Demonic Ascension to get any bit of value out, as that's already a half health. Graves forced to dash away. Blitzcrank gonna flash. The Super Mega Death Rock is not gonna connect. The second Cyclone will secure the kill. A great Encore means nothing. Demonic Ascension burn, and he's going to have the burn to take out the Wukong, possibly. No, he's just gonna be able to get out with the red buff healing him. And that is why you buy Leandry's first. And that is a lot of value taken out. Galio, Swain, and Seraphine ultis taken away from the side of Florida Southern. And they're going to have a few more seconds on their junglers respawn. 40 seconds on Drake, but they are missing critical teamfight ultimates. They have Garen ulti. That is not a team fighting ultimate. Good hook there coming in from King Kirby, and it's going to be a fourth kill for Verzia on this Jinx. Galio has the chase down available if he wants to go for this, but it's really difficult to lock down Air. He has Flash, has his Spirit Rush still available. It is just not going to happen. And now you're trying to face down a level 11 Exalted Kale. You're not going to be able to win that fight. Has to run away. Graves forced to flash to the Blast Cone. Good escape there. But it is FAU continuing to just smack FSC with their wallets. A 4,000, nearly 5,000 gold advantage already. Just under 18 minutes into this game. They have a nearly 50 CS advantage in top lane. They're actually down 25 in jungle, and even more because of the gold. As now, interesting strategy. Doesn't have Stridebreaker finished yet? Wait, what? I thought he finished it already. He has two of the major components. How is he not finished his Stridebreaker? He's 132 farm. He should be done with it. He just based. What is he buying? I want to know. Because I'm concerned now. What is Gooey doing? Okay, whatever. Sure. Just assume never move gonna connect. Actually, the stun not gonna follow it up, but there is so much chase down there. They only burn the Demonic Ascension. And it's going to be a kill going into the pocket of the Swain here. Is Kirby gonna try and just defend for as long as he can, as he has Impeccable coming in, has all of the abilities, and now Air is here. There's the charm, the knockdown, and that's going to be Air picking up his 4th kill of the game, and it's going to be Impeccable picking up a 2nd one as Waffle falls. Air has found, whoa, Revenant way too deep right here, and it should be easy pickings for this 5-1 Ahri as a great hook lands onto Skipper, who's not even able to get involved in this game, really. And FAU, they're going to be banging on this tier 1. Skipper needs to be out of there yesterday at this rate. He only has Hollow Radiance. He can't do anything to this Wukong. He's going to go for the taunt. It's going to land onto King Kirby. Kirby's going to fall. But the rest of the team is just going to ignore him. Super Mega Death Rocket connects. The teleport coming in now to keep this wave alive. And it is the Swain coming in. Garen busy up fighting the Kale in the War of the Demacians. Have they found Waffle once again? So much damage coming out of this Ahri. So much damage coming out of this Jinx. The Encore not going to connect. A lot of damage coming out now from the Colossal Smash. They just need one more auto on this Ahri. They don't get it. He's going to heal from his passive. They have 2 on the Kale now as the chase down in the bot lane continues. Resurrection going to pick up the kill onto the Garen. Is he going to be able to get the Graves? No. Dretto will shut him down. And they're going to find Revenant for the 2nd time in 1 minute. As FAU still win the battle across the board. They lose the Kale. They shut down the Kale. And FAU are still positive in gold on the plays. They're 6,500 gold ahead. They already have picked up this 2nd dragon. My goodness, they are playing this at a blistering speed. Baron is just spawning, and we're going to have a 25-minute soul on the table. They took that 2.5... How the heck did they take that 2.5 minutes ago? What was happening? That the Drake just kind of happened without any real fanfare. 2-item Graves is pretty much the only thing FSC have going for them, and they are going to have to ride this Graves to unbelievable heights right now because it is dire everywhere else on the map. One item Swain has a blasting wand. That's really the only major component. Obviously, 1.5 item Seraphine. 1 item Galio is not what you want to see. Usually, you just play this champ super safe, unless you get really good angles to just run in and kill somebody with a teammate. Pretty much just sit and farm, and that is not what's happening here. Garen just got his Stride Breaker, like 6th back. Hing's going down onto the Garen and the Galio. They know those are the bulky members. They're just going to rush Baron. No, okay. Hold on. 21-minute Baron. You're ahead, but not that ahead. 6,500 gold advantage. They're going to land this root onto the Wukong. They're trying to just blow up Impeccable, forcing out the Flash. He has no clone available right now. Can they find this lockdown? They don't have Flash on the Garen. Teleport coming in. Here comes the Ahri. As the grand entrance is burned already. Air has found 1. He's found 2. They're trying to at least get something in response. There's still 2 stacks on the Spirit Rush. Verzi is going to find a 1 for himself. It's going to be a triple for Air. And FAU are running him down. Charm the Ahri all you want. She's the one who put that status into the game in the first place. It's a quad for Air. And this should be GG's for Florida Atlantic. But they're going to go for the Baron. They could just end here, honestly. Bit of an interesting call. They really have the damage to end. They're not even going to Baron. What? They had 2 seconds on a Swain. They could have at least gotten an inhib. And they're not going to get it here. This Ahri is going to start pushing in this top turret. A bit of an interesting call to continue to stretch this one out. They possibly didn't want to give inhib over to avoid super minion farming. That's a potential answer. But Baron's on the map. Oh, they wanted to go for Soul. They could have got Baron there if they didn't want to push down an inhib. They could have got Baron. Jinx can solo this, though, so Verzi is just going to solo out this Mountain Drake, pick up the Mountain Soul, which is going to be a huge boon into champions like Garen and Graves. It's the flash out from Gooey's already there. He's going to get locked down, going to at least silence somebody, but that Graves is in way too deep. Detra's forced to flash over the wall as his E doesn't bring him all the way, but he's just going to get autoed to death by Impeccable, who's on a rampage now. Gooey is super low. Cyclone still in the pocket. It's finally going to go out with the Divine Judgment at his back. Demonic Ascension keeping the Swain healed. Air has wrapped around and picked off Gooey. Resurrection will take down Waffle. Galio falls as impeccable, as unstoppable, his second kill of the play. And they're going to call for the end for real this time. It is just a Seraphine, encoreless Seraphine, as this is a beatdown in game number 1. Florida Atlantic don't even sweat it. They have just put a 12,000 gold win in their pocket, and they have another member coming in. Dreddo, you're not supposed to be here. It's a crushing defeat in game number 1, and FAU 2 wins away from the final. Well, then, the early game wasn't particularly close. The draft didn't give me much more to believe in, and the Garen never became a factor. The Swain never became a factor. Honestly, it was just the Graves. It was just Dreddo against the world in that game 1. The matchups they had were near impossible to come back from. Like, Garen Kale is such a brutal matchup, and Garen never got ahead, so he was just never able to really punish it. Also, didn't really have the sums for this match. They never utilized Unleash Teleport at all. They used it twice, maybe, to get to team fights faster. Even then, one of them was a defense, and I don't even know when Skipper used his second like, the teleport for the Garen was not the play. Garen never wrapped around really into the play. He was always off fighting Resurrection. If not, he was already with the team. There was just no real reason to bring it. He could have took Ignite or Ghost for laning. It would have been significantly more efficient and would have given him the advantage, honestly. And maybe that doesn't flip anything, because winning a Garen matchup pretty much guarantees you a great 1 kill every fight. But who knows what happens, because then they don't have to put pressure onto the Garen to win anymore. Or maybe it was truly a meaningless decision, and it was kind of a tough situation no matter what. But that is game 1 in the books. Florida Atlantic up 1-0 over FSC in the Division B semifinals. Will we see 2-0 for FAU as they push FSC to the brink of elimination, or will we see a clapback to even up the series at 1? I'll see you for game number 2. And we are back, FAU, on the red side once again, as FSC have opted to go to the blue side after Florida Atlantic dominates game number 1 at the hands of an Ari that just gets absolutely unleashed. Air put up a phenomenal showing that one, I believe 10 or 11 kills to open up this series, and that's gotta feel pretty good, to put it nicely. Opening up your semifinal match with a near perfect game from your mid laner. And the Jinx and the Blitz weren't doing too bad themselves, as it is time to get into the draft for game number 2. What do FSC do? Because, okay, get rid of Embesso. That's odd. I didn't mention it last game, but usually blue side doesn't ban a powerful pick. Usually blue side doesn't take away their own weapon, as Mbessa is one of the best champions on patch right now. I'm intrigued as to why they don't want to put it into the hands of GUI. Maybe GUI just doesn't play it, but that's not what you want to hear. They're going to get rid of the Blitz. They're going to go back to the Seraphine. I mean, the Seraphine wasn't that bad, honestly. Revenant had a fine game of Seraphine. Really couldn't do much after a certain point. Tried to be the cornerstone of the bot lane, and it just fell apart after a while. Just too many hooks were hitting. It was a bit of an issue, as Kirby was just controlling lane so well, and they're going to steal the Swain away. All right, Waffle. You got to bust something out here because your champ is gone. That is Swain Varus. That is not a bad pairing, and I am really excited to see how it matches up because good Varus play is just a joy. Just an absolute joy to watch. Is Lysandra. Okay, that's intriguing. Interesting. Yeah, that's a champ you don't usually see blinded in today's meta. My goodness, it's been years since Lysandra was even main rotation. Blindable is a different story entirely. Misfortune going to be paired with this Seraphine. Very good bot lane pairing. And by that I mean they have good ultimate synergy, which is all you really need for Misfortune, because you're not going to be doing much else in team fights for the most part. Your auto attacks are nice, but the ulti is what everyone cares about. They have an interesting combo. This is going to be Swain top. Oh my. Oh my god. The Swain top. Okay, Alistar support with this Varus. That's still a good bot lane pairing. Just always assume Swain. Actually, it might be Swain. It could be Swain a lot of things. We'll see how it goes. I want to see if Swain at Lysandra. I don't even think that's a matchup. Like, I don't even think Swain versus Lysandra is a matchup at all. But it's slightly Swain-sided, if that means anything. But I also don't think Lysandra's very popular right now. Isn't surprising, because it is Lysandra. She's a control mage, not very popular. Another glitch, I'm just going to guess it's Echo because it could be anything at this point. Ari going to be taken away from Air after just meme stomping. Okay, now the game is just being mean. Now Draft Lol is just being mean. It's pro draft, but whatever. Viego taken away here. That's not seeing a lot of Viego for Dretto, but it would not be surprising to know that he has it in his back pocket, because fair enough. It's kind of, why is Mbessa like the best mid laner on patch right now? That's concerning. Where's Lysandra? Low. Let's give you Silas taken away from Air. Another very strong champion. Number 48. Jeez. 2,000 games. What RFA are you going to go for here? Are they going to force... They could force top counter. They already know what mid lane is. They could force top counter if they go for jungle here. Nope, they're going to lock in Zed? Zed into Lysandra. Not a matchup that I usually would assume is there. Does Air even play Zed? Don't think so. We're gonna see another game for Dreddo here on this. Oh my goodness. I think it's gonna be Graves. Unless this is Swain top as well, so I don't know what Teemo's going to do here. This could be Teemo jungle. Nope, it's Teemo top. Okay. Okay. Why not? Teemo top it is into Swain. Weird pick. I'm not seeing. Oh, I'm seeing one Teemo game from Lil Gooey. That's not a lot. And Wukong, they're going for a team fight comp here with a Teemo. So they have a team fight comp and Teemo pretty much. They are here to throw all their ultimates into the abyss and hopefully win a team fight. And that's about it. That's their entire plan. And I guess Teemo's here to provide some annoyance. Teemo, long considered to be a joke character, a troll pick. And who knew that all it took was a not even a VGU, just a audio visual update. And an audiovisual update that made him slightly more popular is all it took for everyone to realize that this champion is genuinely absurd. Like, he was just kind of frustrating, but he was actually really good, and no one really wanted to talk about it, I guess. No one really wanted to play it, I'm assuming, because I don't know. He's been nerfed, like, several times at this point. But hey, maybe it's good into a non-attacking top, like a non-melee, non-auto-attacking champion. Because Swain pretty much is just spells with occasional auto attacks. Amumu going to round out this comp. It's going to be nice for the Alistar and the Swain to just have an extra just have that extra assurance to hit somebody over the head with. Just a big sign that says attack me or chain CC here. I don't know what Zed's going to do. Like, in the same way that I don't know what Teemo's going to really do in this game, or in lane for that matter, into a Swain, I don't know what Zed's going to do here. Pretty much at all. It's going to be a toss-up. What's the Sandra Zed look like? Let's see. Why? Whatever, I'll do it this way. Let's see Liz versus Zed. Lysandra wins against Zed generally. Yeah, okay. Got it. Pretty much all I needed to know was that. Teemo. Captain Teemo on duty. Okay, why not? Let's go. I love Teemo. I enjoy playing Teemo. This is Varus top lane. Are you kidding me? So it's not Swain top lane, it's Varus, which is actually a worse matchup. Honestly, you could have put Swain up there and it would have been just as fine. It probably would have been better, actually, to have Swain up there. Because Varus versus, what, Seraphine Misfortune isn't bad. It's fine, honestly. It's a good match. But okay. Why are there that many Zed support games? Sorry. I'm seeing the numbers pop up, and I don't like the fact that there are Zed support games. Those concern me. Anyways, Zed Lysandra. It's not fully it's a skill matchup for the Zed. For Lysandra, it's a reaction speed test. How fast can you W an ulti? Because if you could do that, you can beat Zed pretty much 100% of the time on repeat. Because he has to get into range of you to pretty much do anything that isn't just shuriken poke. And then, of course, when he ults, he always he leaves at a predictable location every time. That was an Udyr ban? Okay. Sure. Why not? We knew the Ari ban before it despawned, and so we know what all the bans are now. Intrigued by the Udyr ban. There's no way they knew this was a Varus game. There's no way they knew this was a Varus top. Why are there 5 Varus top games that he isn't winning? He's only won 1 Varus top game, in ranked at least. Ranked is completely different from anything else, obviously. Very different environment from organized play, very different environment from even casual queue. Is a farming Swain Alistar. What the? Just put the Swain in the top lane, man. Like, Swain can hold his own, especially into Teemo. I thought they wanted that flexibility. I mean, they did have flexibility, and they kind of threw it away. They used it in an interesting way, to say the least. Not expecting this, but fine. Honestly, not a big fan of Swain Misfortune matchups. I think for the Misfortune, it's worse, honestly. Maybe it's better than Varus, but it's a bad matchup either way. It's very winnable for the Swain Alistar, though they will have to wait till level 2 to really get online because that's just how Alistar works, unless you can hit a really good flash Q, or even just a regular Q, or a really good flash W, where you just hit them into your Swain. It's, yeah, level 1, very bad for these two. Everywhere else, it's going to be perfectly fine. As, oh my goodness, 3.5 minutes of waiting. God, no, still don't like the spectator delay. Very silly, very useless. All right, we're back into the game for game number 2. It is time to see if FSC have what it takes to put up with one of the best teams in their division, the second best team in their division, I guess, if you really want to be correct about it. Or one of the best. There were like 3 groups for this one, so I guess you can there were 4 groups for this one, so you can forgive me for saying only one of the best with a qualifier on it.
You can't milk those.
And I guess there's no better time to see if you're one of the best, to see if you can hang with the best at least, than against one of the best. Now they're going for an interesting setup here. If they hit this E, this could be a very strong start. They need to get aired down. They don't have Ignite again. Why do they take heal? With barrier already on sometimes you gotta ask some questions. Because there is, in my mind, no reason to go heal when you have barrier on Misfortune already. You should be going a battle summoner here. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference if it's Exhaust or Ignite. Just, you need to go one of them. Because you don't need double defensive summoners here. But whatever. Another kill dropped because they just don't have a battle sum. They still have the advantage for the Alistar early, though that is not a lot of damage for what is pretty much a full send. And they already lost level advantage. Swain is able to clear that much faster. Yeah, Teemo into Varus. It's very good. I think FAU should have reconsidered their lane assignments here. Fine for now. They need to punish. On the side of FSC, I guess I can't just jump into that thought unchained. They need to punish, though, this Zed. Whether it's just completely shoving him in and going for some crazy aggressive play, but you can already see the way these two are pathing. There is nothing. There's no chance they get this invade, and now a nice engage by King Kirby with the pulverized headbutt. Taking so much in response, he took a turret shot there. And it's going to just end that play in its path. This is going to also be Lethality Varus, or at least Poke Varus. I don't know if it's going to be Lethality. Usually you run Hail of Blades for that, to insta-get all your Blight procs. We'll see. To be determined. Root not going to connect there from Revenant. Give you a little... He probably should have threw that a little bit earlier, so they can actually sync these up for free stuns. That is the huge advantage that comes with Misfortune Seraphine lanes. You press E, or you use both your E's, I guess, and it's insta-roots and doubles, like perfect stun positions. Nice never move into the Eye of War. Good double root as well in response to save himself from the Alistar. Ooh. Just not going to be able to kill him with the double Qs there. This is a very bold position for Gooey to just stand in, and it's going to be a kill with the Blighted Arrow and First Blood over to Resurrection. And that is the opposite of what you want. A perfect gank from Impeccable to just negate any minor advantages this Teemo could have had. That's going to be the teleport burned. Resurrection didn't even have to burn his barrier. Is this going to be an execute? Yeah. There's no potential punish coming in. Air is able to just go to base for free. I think he could have just walked back in base, but okay. It's about the same time, honestly. It's a little bit faster, actually. So, not the worst situation. The perfect game is gone. Never move gonna connect. Screw the talk of the perfect game. As there's the headbutt, the pulverize. The root gonna be nice onto the Swain, but that's the exhaust going down. The stun coming in from the trample, forcing out the flash of Waffle. Okay, they did at least spot out Impeccable, and the Never Move connects again, so Impeccable's actually going to be able to continue to walk down as there's the headbutt into the wrong half of the Rift. There's no damage available for this. What are you doing there? I mean, I get the play, but there's just no chance Waffle can walk forwards to try and pick that up with Make It Rain. Just an Amumu Swain is not what you're able to walk into. Why is he not walking to the tier 2? He has Strunt. It doesn't even matter. There's the breeze coming through. The Frozen Tomb will not be where Air dies, but he will get followed by a Flash Q from Dreddo, and it will be 3-1 now in favor of FAU. As FSC pick up their first kill of the game. It's going to be nice to get that onto the Wukong. Already had the Sheen available, so this is already huge. You probably should have opened with the autos there. If you're on the Teemo, into the queue so you could deny any potential fight back. But already, who cares? He has barrier. He has ulti available. I don't think he's going to be able to kill is the problem. Not going to be able to kill off. They could dive this. This is a huge wave. Very well played by Gooey, actually, to stack this one up. And Wukong, not late. They're going to have to burn this barrier as they are just not even going to be able to bother. Dreddo is going to pick up that one. Resurrection doesn't even care about picking up that. Oh, this is going to steal a minion, isn't it? Yeah. He was trying to set it up so it didn't, but just the clone decided to do it anyways. Good news is, with Lost Chapter, Skipper is going to be poking quite hard into this Zed, who is now 0-1 to enemies. Dying to the turret doesn't really count. Is he going to be able to get away with this? Ooh, just in range of the Rift Scuttle to get away with murder. Or, well, with the dragon there. Less murder, more dragon. Dragon murder. Its own thing. Funky Hex Flash from Kirby. Honestly, just use it whenever you can because it's fun. And did he dodge away from the double shuriken? What the heck? How? Okay, whatever. Gooey is still in this. He's building up towards his Gnasher's Tooth. It's not out of reach just because a 1-kill Varus is on the Rift. His Wukong is putting up quite the fight here. Is kind of the issue. Is this Wukong is going to be a pain in the neck. MF is hardly online, going for Collector first here, it seems. We're not going to connect. It's going to be hard to all-in this Swain, though. Demonic Ascension available. He actually has stats this time, unlike last game, where he was just kind of stuck in first gear the whole time. Ooh, good dodge there by Skipper. I don't even know if he meant to buffer it, but he played it very well with the Frozen Claw. Never Move, not going to hit. Nice dodge there as the minefield is starting to get set up. Probably could have just went for autos. So now he's just going to start getting traded back by Resurrection here. We're going to connect into the Never Move. No flash available for Waffle. He's going to get double encore to get him out to safety, but the stun from the triple comes through. The slows, are they going to be enough? No. Demonic Ascension burned in exchange for just a barrier and a heal. And now here comes Impeccable. Trailed really well. Frozen Tomb, not going to be enough as there's the Death Mark coming out. And it's going to be Air picking up the solo bolo in the mid lane. They're going to be able to keep Waffle alive for now as the chase down with the Cyclone is here. There is no not unstoppable force. Oops. As Curse of the Sad Mummy actually comes out. And this is going to be a double kill here, potentially, for this Amumu. Flash follow from the Swain is a bit overzealous, but it's going to be a double for Impeccable to pull this one back. Oh, and this is a very dead Seraphine right here. No defensive utility available. That's the end of the mana bar, and that is going to be the end of the life bar. Wait, what? Okay. Air is going to have to burn his flash for that. That was way closer than it should have been. Because that is a lot invested on that play. Holy cow. Gooey needs to be very careful here. This is a poke Varus. He has lethality built. He has damage. Not to be trifled with. This is a 3-0 and 3 Amumu. He has his Leandries finished already. Okay. This is going to be a dangerous situation. Put it nicely. Dangerous situation. Because he's going to be building full tank now. He has a Dark Seal in his back pocket already. He is so ready to just pop off and be a nuisance. Finally spotted out. Gonna hit it early, and he's gonna deny the runaway here. There's the Ring of Frost coming out, and that's a lot of damage onto an Alistar that has already used his Unbreakable Will. It's gonna put him to about half, but that is off of the teleport. Skipper forced to just play cautiously, burning his final potion on top of it all. Blackfire already finished for Verzia. Gets another stack as well off of that Eye of War, or Vision of War. Blading goes down in the bot lane, though, so they have some kind of a responses. That's a lot of damage that doesn't exist yet. If there were items, it would exist. Revenant is playing actual support, though. That's not bad, but there's the ulti coming out, and the chains mean that you're fully stacked on Blight. Good ulti here from Skipper, but it's just delaying the inevitable, as there's so little he can do to survive, but it's going to be a response kill, a shutdown onto air for about 140 gold. There's the bullet time. The encore doesn't connect, and that means that's going to be Verzia walking away for a little bit longer, but he has the flash to follow it. Nice hit into tower range. They're not going to get the kill onto the Misfortune, but Revenant will take it still. A kill is a kill where you could take it, and this is a bit more bloody than than game 1 by a large margin. This is a lot more of a back and forth. So we're starting to see actual, like, these are actual fights and catches. Like, FSC are catching out. Oh, there's not enough time to run. This is a terrible position. Does he have the move quick? No, he does not have the move quick available. Gooey could have picked that kill up really quickly. Doesn't have quite enough damage yet or the attack speed to really pick up these final blows that he needs to be getting. But for now, it is enough to just keep pace with him roughly. These junglers have been so active, have been the key to game 2 just ticking the way it has. Rylai's is finished, so that is a lot of insta-roots and stuns put down now for Revenant. So that's going to be another plating into the Teemo. But back to earlier, jungles running this game. The Wukong has been integral. This is a bit of an aggressive play as the Amumu is nowhere to be seen. This is going to be a solo kill for Revenant as he picks up his second of the game. Will be successful steal for Impeccable. But there was not really a reason to go for that play there from Kirby. A bit too assuming at how fast his jungler's clear speed actually is. Even with Leandries and a Dark Seal, it's still a Mumu. He's relatively slow on single camps, or on single monster camps. Groups, yes, but individual, no. Nice stun, using the vision to the advantage, dodges the never move, and there's the stun coming in from the bandage toss, the curse of the sad mummy. The second bandage toss is there, and that means the demonic ascension is more than enough to pick up a second kill for Verzia, and a third one on to Waffle. That's the blind going out. You probably don't want to throw that into the spell shield. You just throw an auto into the spell shield. It burns it. And now this Varus is a problem. Has that Edge of Night, and still no Dasher's finish, as that is a lot of damage picked up on to Skipper, and this should be more than enough to finish him off. No, the Shuriken doesn't connect, and the Ignite is burned. Flash and ult for Ignite and ult, as this is just gonna be Chain of Corruption. WQ Resurrection finishes off. Are you kidding? Oh my goodness. Okay, I was gonna say, if he doesn't finish that, that is next level bad luck. But it will be a fourth kill going over to air, and it is Skipper once again sleeping with the fishes here, as this mid lane matchup is becoming a bit of a bad situation. Root just a little bit too low there. The wraparound from this Wukong is huge, but he's going to get locked down already, as there's the bullet time. The Encore not going to connect. It's going to force out the flash, but that is 3 ultimates gone. They are 2.5 minutes out from the Drake spawn, so they should actually have them back up in time. But still, not optimal, obviously. You want your plays to go a lot better, especially if you're burning 3 ultimates. You don't want it to just be for a flash. But that's the position they're in right now. They have Youmuu's. How long is... I mean, you can still rush Youmuu's, but it's been a bit since Misfortune's first item has been Youmuu's Ghost Blade. Still no Nashers for the Teemo. Again, slowest champion to first item. 2 games running now. Actually, no, maybe Kirby. Kirby might be the slowest. Depends on how fast he can farm up his locket and how much gold he has on him right now. He's off playing the map. They've spotted out this Wukong as I think Air has the damage to finish this one off. Not quite. Deathmark won't pick up the kill. And it doesn't actually get anything out of the Wukong. Teemo needs to always be careful about the chain of corruption. And just the sheer raw damage a single blighted arrow can put down. Oh, he is dead. This guy is dead. Bandage toss comes over. It is just easy peasy for Florida Atlantic in this top lane right now. Root not going to connect. Vision of War picks up another stack. But just top lane is a bit of a canyon right now for FSC. It's a bit of a problem here, honestly. Root connects. But we're going to see a charge in the top lane on the tier 2. Kirby's going to fall to the turret. Didn't need to that time, but it's just going to happen. The pings come through from the team. This should be a pretty easy play, even with the Demonic Ascension going down. It will be Dredo picking that one up with the Cyclone. And he's going to get finished off there by a rotating Air. Does have to burn his flash for the play, but makes it a time to pick up a 5th kill for himself. And he can dive. He has Deathmark. They need to be fully aware of his positioning at all times because he can easily WQ, W ulti anytime he wants, as there's the WQ coming in. They don't have... Actually, they do have Encore available. This is a very dangerous dive, actually. They need to not get overzealous in countering it, but this dive can be really bad. As... There goes the Alistar flying in, the teleport coming in from this Lissandra. Who are they going to lock down? 3-man curse is great, but Waffle's going to find one onto King Kirby. Impeccable's going to go on a rampage, but finally, the Lissandra ulti comes out. The Frozen Tomb will be the demise of FA... Oh my goodness, I thought that was... Hold on. No, that was a Thrall blowing up, but FAU overplay their hand a little bit. And great counter dive measures to prevent disaster for FSC and keep themselves in this game. Still should be a turret falling. A 4th one at that. Wow. Falling at the hands of Air this time, as this is a very not good position to be in, as the Drake is targeting you, and Resurrection's gonna pick up a 4th kill here. They have the Ring of Frost. They don't have a Frozen Tomb, though. This Varus is unleashed. It's gonna be a shutdown over to the side of Skipper, but it's going to be the Dragon going over to Florida Atlantic. They are 7-0 on Drakes this game, or in this series, and they're gonna make it another 3-0, threatening the Drake sweep here. Cyclosword, Zed, like one of 2 champions that can build it. What is it? Him and Bessa. And that's it. You're not building this garbage on Riven at all. If you build this garbage on Riven, you're throwing. Where is 5,000 gold advantage? Oops. I'm pushing too many buttons on my end and messing around. I'm sorry, team. 4-1-5 on this move. Gave over a pretty hefty shutdown, all things considered, to a champion you definitely don't want to give a hefty shutdown to. You still have a huge advantage here. 2 items, I mean, a full item advantage on this Varus Teemo. Just absolutely insane. full item advantage, a half item advantage actually, over the Wukong on this Amumu, half item on the Zed to Lissandra. Like, just everywhere is a big deal to deal with, and that is just going to be a lot of lockdown. They don't want to get all huddled up, as there's the curse of the Sad Mummy, and the Varus arrow isn't going to quite connect. The bullet time is huge, and it's going to be impeccable going down, but there's the no way the Chain of Corruption connects there. The dodge means that it's going to be someone else tanking it. Now the flash over the wall means that Varus is unleashed. Resurrection with one. It's going to be Dredo with another, but he's slowed by just the barely slowing field enough to get him, and it's going to be a double kill for Resurrection there. Teemo died to the burn here. He has red buff, which means he counteracts it. Since it's not a scaling damage, it is a flat number that scales. Okay, it scales with AP, but it's a flat number compared to the increased damage you get from Liandry's. Will be a tier 2 falling in the mid lane, though, and it is further expanding the Florida Atlantic lead, as they have their eyes set on this Drake Soul, which will be perfect for their Varus to just absolutely tear everybody to bits. We're only 21 minutes into the game, and once again, FAU have a demanding lead. 7,000 gold ahead right now of Florida Southern. Maybe they have a... I mean, this is a much closer game. It's 7,000 apart, but it is way... This team was dead. They knew he was there. Why is he... He's trying to get his passive off. They don't have Never Move available. Wait, hold on. What? No way. They get away with it. They're doing Baron. What is going on? There's no teleport in this game for Swain. I didn't even notice that. It's Ghost. And Teemo actually teleports into the play. They're going to turn. They're going to lock down King Kirby. And even with the unbreakable will, he falls. They're maybe focusing a little too much on this play, as they know that the Amumu's hanging around. The Frozen Thrall finds him. He's in 3-man curse. But the bullet time is going down. And they're turning this one on the Amumu. It's 2 for 1. Encore hits 2, but there's so much damage coming up from this Zed. It's 3 for 3. Swain is looking to clean this up. Can Verzia do it? The flash out of the Seraphine is picture perfect. There's still the Drake, or the Baron on the side of FSC. If they can just smite it, they will. They'll get it, but what are they going to have to pay for it, as all 5 members of them will fall? It's a 5 for 3 across the map, and what seemed like a phenomenal play for FSC has blown up in their face. They're going to give up a bot turret, a bot inhibitor as well, and that is a lot of money to hand over. A full wipe. They will get the 1,500 gold injection that comes with Baron, but they will hand over a little bit more than a 1,500 gold injection themselves through dying. Just everyone dying. There's a disastrous play. Why not? I mean, I personally prefer Collector for some misfortune, but that's besides the point. I was going to say, why Collector? Cosmic Drive. Wow, this is not usually what... I guess I, again, don't build for super high damage when I play Swain. I play for utility, and then I build damage. So I don't have 5 damage slots. I have 2 damage slots at most usually when I play him, so fair enough. Oh, dying apparently. Teemo's still on 1.5 items. That's not good. Wukong jumping in onto Alistar, also not the best situation. A lot of poke damage going down onto this Teemo. The Vision of War not going to hit anybody, as they're going to spot it out, but that's a 2-man curse of the Sad Mummy. The Frozen Tomb going down. The Zanya's forced out of the Swain, and this Lissandra's just getting torn apart. Resurrection just going to find the kill onto Gooey once again, and it is 2v5. It is too little, too late for FSC. It is Amumu versus Seraphine, and a 6-3-12. Amumu is just letting this one go, as FAU are just running it to the enemy base. They're looking for this misfortune. Deathmark. The Shuriken's not going to connect, but he doesn't even need it. The Deathmark reproc will pick that one up. And it's going to be Florida Atlantic moving to match point against Florida Southern College, as they pull it together through superior top laning. My goodness. Resurrection versus Gooey has been a one-sided affair. And though FSC try as they might to pull this one back, They're going to have to try a lot harder as they got a reverse sweep if they want to win the title now. Oh, man, this team, the top lane's been rough, not gonna lie. I think the top lane might be a part of the problem. Like, yes, Skipper fell behind really hard early, despite them finding advantages in both games. But Skipper pulled it back. Skipper actually made some really nice plays to keep them in reach. Yes, they don't need to fall behind so aggressively early. Honestly, all three lanes fell behind pretty aggressively early. But only one of them stayed super behind. Like, this Teemo never got online, was never really a threat past the 0 item phase. Past 0 items, Teemo was never a problem, which is first reset. After the first death, really, because that was the first back, he just fell behind over and over and just never had a chance at catching up. And they had some really good fights without him. They didn't seem to need the Teemo as much for their 4v4s. They were actually making really good plays. Even Teemo got to escape with his life one time and help out with the Baron. They probably should have focused Baron a little bit harder since they don't have a hard eject tool, or they needed to encore way earlier. But that's besides the point. Like, that is down to teamfight execution, which you can't always predict how Teemo's going to go with no ejection tools. And the Alistar was just really nice to have there compared to pretty much anything else, since they have a bunch of AoE, which they actually did not have after ulting. But FSC, once again, are going to have to go back to the blue side here and figure something out, as its backs against the wall. It is Florida Atlantic University on the verge of making the finals for Division B. So we'll see if they get the job done in a sweep, or Florida Southern College can just extend this one a little bit more, keep their fall season alive, and send us to a game 4. I will see you for potentially the final game of the day. sad news, because they thought it was a best of three, they being Florida State, or Florida Southern College, not Florida State. I apologize for that as well. Their players, some of their players had decided to schedule something late for school, their classes. I don't know, nor does it really matter to me, but they have academic, I believe they use the word academic obligations to attend to. So they will be forfeiting game 3, giving Florida. Wow, I'm bad with words. I'm sorry. Giving Florida Atlantic University victory in game number 3, making it a 3-0, meaning that they will be playing in the ECAC Division B finals for League of Legends next week. It's not a fun way to end it. It's always disappointing as someone who's experienced significantly worse FF's, very unfun. Always sucks. The team that wins would like to finish it out, and I'm sure the players would like to fight for their opportunity to win the best of 5, no matter how dire it is, but it is how it is sometimes. School comes before playing some silly video games, and just what the situation is, we can't really change it at this point. It's not our call. This does mean that Florida Atlantic, as mentioned before, will make the finals. For Division B, they await the winner of Trine University and the Seneca Sting. So we will see you next week to round out one of these divisions. I don't know which game it'll be, whether it's Division A, Division B. We'll be back next week with more League of Legends to cap off the fall semester for the ECAC League of Legends tournament. I've been Box Kimchi. I'll see you next week.